Okay, we are live. Thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. I know we were just a couple minutes late. You know, it's always like technical stuff. These just the stay-at-home moms like having to figure out technology. So it happens sometimes. But I'm so excited that we're here tonight. I know it's a holiday weekend and a holiday Monday, but I'm grateful that you're giving up a little bit of your time to hang with us and, you know, learn some awesome stuff, learn from another amazing leader in the business. I love featuring leaders from other teams because I think it's just so important to have different perspectives. Sometimes we say similar things, but somebody just says it in a different way and you have that light bulb moment. And that's what this is all about. So I'm not going to talk a ton because I know Erin has a lot of really great stuff to share. But I want to introduce her because she's just wonderful. And to give a little bit of backstory, I wanted to touch on this topic that we're going to cover tonight. And I posted in our 5-star and above group, the round table. And I said, this is what I'm looking for. This is like the criteria. I want somebody who's like relatively new in the business, but who's crushing it, you know, using social media to invite and grow their business. And maybe newly elite, newly 5-star. And Erin was like, hi, me, these are my stats. And just to give you guys a little rundown, she's been a coach for 18 months. So I think that that's really, really amazing to have that perspective because she's still a new coach. Like this is what's possible, you know, when you're in that year 1, year 2 area of your business. And I think that that's like one of the most exciting spaces to be in the business. She is already elite. So she finished 2017, which Erin, I think you signed up in 2017 or 2016?
Yeah, 2016, the end of 2016, yeah.
So end of 2016, she signed up. She was elite by the end of 2017. And not only that, she ended up number 56 in the company. So she and her team rose to number 56 as this brand new team in the business. So she's a 5-star diamond, which means she has 5 personally sponsored diamond coaches under her and at least 20 active coaches, but probably way more than that. First year elite, she has 3 kiddos. So I know, you know, a couple weeks ago we heard from Jamie on our team who doesn't have kiddos, and Erin's a mom and has 3 under 5 years old. And it's really cool to like see these different perspectives. You can follow Erin, see what she's doing, but 3 kids under 5, elite in 18 months as a coach. This is what's possible, you know? So I'm so excited that you're here tonight, Erin. And I can't wait to hear what you have to say. I'm just going to turn it over to you and shut up now. So.
Oh. Well, I'm so excited too. I'm so honored to be on your call. You're just like a legend. Like, I think sometimes it's funny because I feel like the legend coaches, like sometimes their teams don't really get that that's a big deal. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm going to speak on 70 Chico's call. Like, this is awesome.
You're so sweet.
So just to give you guys just a little bit of background about me. As she says, I'm 18 months in. I have 3 littles. So I have 4.5-year-old twin girls and a 2-year-old completely wild child, another girl. So 3 girls under 5. My background is actually in health and fitness. I was in corporate marketing and found myself 50 pounds overweight. And I saved all my money and hired a trainer, and we lost the 50 pounds. And I just knew that I needed to quit my job and become a personal trainer and like kind of pay it forward because I had found my passion. So then, you know, I was training people like at 5 a.m. at 10 p.m., whoever wanted to work with me, whoever's life I could change, I was like in, and I was burning the candle at both ends. And it was really fun because I was making a difference in people's lives. And it was totally fulfilling and amazing. And although I don't know if any of you guys are personal trainers pretty much make pennies. They are very expensive, but they don't make much. So I was burning the candle at both ends, not making much money. My husband and I got married in that time and decided to start a family about 2 or 3 years in. And I got spontaneously pregnant with twins. So that was like, okay, like I had a high risk pregnancy. I was on bed rest for quite a bit, so I couldn't just be like lugging weights around for my clients at the gym. So it was a huge life transformation. Obviously, anytime you have a child, it's a life transformation, but this really hit us hard. the whole having two at once thing. And I've always wanted to be a mom. It's just always been the plan. And I always thought I would want to stay at home with them. But I had severe postpartum anxiety after I had them. I felt trapped. I couldn't leave the house. I was like a slave to the breast pump and like didn't trust anyone to watch my kids because they would get them off schedule. And, you know, I was in a deep, dark hole. And I had totally lost my identity. And y'all, this is such a common like Beachbody coach story. This is such an amazing way to pull these stay-at-home moms out of their funk and out of their, for me, postpartum anxiety hole and give us purpose and give us something fulfilling. So that's exactly what happened. I reached out. I then had another baby somewhere in there, which seems crazy at the time, but I did. And I knew I had 3 kids and I knew that I would like go back to work at the gym eventually. And as much as I wanted to like do something else, like once you have children, you value your time a little bit more. My time away from them needs to have, to me, a better dollar value than the gym was willing to pay me. So I was like struggling, wanting to go back to work and not being able to figure out how to do that. And then a acquaintance of mine started doing this Beachbody thing. And I loved the way she was doing it. I didn't even really know she was doing Beachbody. She was using all kinds of curiosity marketing. And, I was kind of like a Beachbody hater, but because I loved the way she was going about her business, she wasn't being a cheesy Beachbody coach. She didn't seem salesy. She wasn't pushing products. She was simply sharing her story. And because of that, I reached out to her and she actually, I kind of hate this part about my story, but she posted an income snapshot. Because I hate that it like ended up, the thing that got me to do it was money. Like it's so not about money to me. But that was the thing, because I was about to go back to the gym and I saw this income snapshot and I saw that she was making 6 figures 1 year in. And I sat my husband down and I was like, listen, I never thought I would do this, but I feel like I owe it to myself to give this a try. This is what she's making. Like, I don't want to leave the kids and go back to work, but I want to help people. What do I do? So anyway, I gave this Beachbody thing a try and it has been an incredible journey. But it didn't start that well. Like everyone keeps coming up to me. They're like, elite in 18 months. How did you do it? You ended up 56 in your first year. Tell us how. And it's really interesting because I feel like I know how I did it. Most people are like, I don't know. I really do feel like I know. And I feel like elite doesn't have to be the goal. This is just about moving your business forward. And maybe to you, that's becoming Emerald, making $500 a month. Maybe it's becoming a 10-star diamond coach. Like this can be anything. Anyway, so when I started, I had this huge ego, which many personal trainers do who move into this business, that I had to get over. And my upline, who's one of my best friends, Moira, and I call me a non-compliant coach. Because I came in and I was like, I'm this personal trainer. I know what I'm doing. I don't do that self-help stuff. Like I'm not going to do personal development and I'm not going to post 3 times a day on social media. You're crazy. I'm not going to build a team. I'm just in this for the challenge group. Like I liked signing up customers and helping them reach their health and fitness goals. I in no way wanted to have a team. And she, I mean, I'm trying to think back now. I mean, I felt like she was totally meeting me where I was, but she was probably about to like bang her head against the wall with me. Like how annoying would that be if someone came to me with that kind of ego and didn't want to be teachable and didn't want to do any of the things. So I had really early success because of my health and fitness background. I had created enough trust and influence in my community that I had been gone for a few years, having all these babies. I'm back, I'm getting results, and people are like, what is she doing? And they trusted me. And so it was easy for me to sign up my friends, my family, and my former clients in the first 3 months. Honestly and truly, the first 3 months in this business are like the honeymoon period because you're in your warm market. you're so excited about your journey. You're being a product of the product and you're like in it. You know, it's so exciting. Not that it's not exciting now, but it was really, really easy for me to get my mommy friends on board. And in month 2, it was Team Cup. I hit SC60, and our team was like number 2 in the company for the whole Team Cup, and it was so exciting. And then in month 4, which I feel like this is like the other common tale, you know, maybe you're hitting SC5, SC10 this first couple months. Maybe you're a success startup because you're inviting your friends and your sister and your coworkers to do this with you. And then in month 4, you tap out of that more market, right? And you're like, oh my gosh, like now I have to do the things. And I had so much fun on that Team Cup team, and I needed the community, like the fitness friends. I needed these like-minded women who had nothing to do with my kids or my family. They didn't even know my kids' names. They just knew me as Erin, the fitness coach. And that was like a big part of me getting my identity back. So I was like I was loving this Beachbody thing. And then month 4 happened. And I just remember like laying in my bed and being really pouty and whiny. And my husband came in and he's like, what is going on? I'm like, this is hard. It was easy and now it's hard and I don't want to do this anymore. And he's like, how can you say that? Like this has been the thing that has pulled you out of postpartum anxiety. You're finally happy. You're finally yourself. I feel like I have my wife back. How can you say you don't want to do this? I'm like, I don't want to invite. I don't want to do personal development. I don't want to post on social media. I don't want to be one of those annoying over posters. And more than anything, I am deeply sensitive and I deeply care what other people think of me. Like it's something that I am working through. I'm getting through, but I am working on this daily. And that was what the hang up was in that moment. It was me worrying about my friends thinking that I was annoying on social media. And I said that to him and he said the smartest thing to me. He was like, you know what? You're happy for the first time in a long time. You're helping people. There's all these amazing things happening in your life. And if these people, our friends, are not okay with you annoyingly helping people, then they're not our people. And we've got to clean out the friend closet. And I'm like, you're right. Who wouldn't love this for me? Who wouldn't be happy that I found something that makes me so happy and fulfilled? And when I switched that mindset of realizing that maybe this was a good way to weed out the people in my life that are toxic. Block me, unfollow me, good riddance. You know what I mean? Like, how could that? It just was so perfect. And it goes with inviting too, because I didn't want to invite because I didn't want to be annoying. And it was the same thing. He was like, if anyone's going to think that you're annoying for trying to help them, then they're not our people. You know, I watched my upline success and I wanted that. And he said, like, this is, you know, they always say like, the successful people are the people who can be uncomfortable the longest. And I was super uncomfortable with inviting in social media. And he said, this is the difference between you and your upline. She's willing to do this thing. And if you are, I know that you can have the same success that she had. So I had just like a turning point that day. The other thing that was big and the turning point for me was, you know, all of our Facebook feeds are like, I don't know, mine is Beauty Counter, Rodent and Fields, Plexus. It's all MLM spam on my Facebook feed. And so I was really hung up on that, not adding to the Facebook spam. And here's the thing about that. And I always use Rodent and Fields as an example of this because I am a major Rodent and Fields fan. Like I use it. I love it. I love my girl who sells it to me. She's amazing. But this is what happens with me and my friend who sells it to me. She sells me a product. She's not like, hey girl, did you put on your face wash today? Like nobody's checking in on me. Nobody's making sure this product works. Nobody's holding me accountable and making sure I have the best experience in a part of my daily life. She sells me a product. And then, I don't know, a month and a half later, when I run out, she sells me another product. And that is what makes us different. And I'm not bashing anybody. Like, good for them. I love the products. I'm a fan. I'm not bashing anybody. But that is selling a product. And we are providing a service and sharing our story and our journey. And it is honestly and truly just not in the same league. You know, we have BOD and we have some supplements that we offer as the total package for your ideal health and wellness. That's how we help people. But it's certain, I never sell a product. I never feel salesy ever, because I'm just sharing my story. I love this stuff. It's changed my life. And I want to focus on women who just had babies, and I want to change their lives the way that this changed my life. I want to bring them into my accountability group, and I want to make them fall in love with this program. And then guess what happens? The girl who said she never wants to build a team, you can't really help but build a team when you make people fall in love with your challenge group. And then they're like, hey, I want to do this with you. And I'm like, oh man, I think I have a team. You know, like it just is what happens. If you're doing an incredible job of sharing your story and bringing people on a part of your journey, and then killing it in the challenge group and making people fall in love and giving them the attention they deserve, they're going to want to do this with you. And I have recruited coaches from social media. I have. But the coaches that are my diamond coaches are people who just came in for themselves. They came in for themselves because they lost their whatever their reason was, and they had some kind of transformation, and they wanted in on this amazing journey. Getting sidetracked. Let me get back to my notes. This is very normal for me. Yes. So what it really boils down to is, although I am so sensitive and I just deeply care what other people think about me, the more people that I help, I don't want this to be about money, because it's not about money, but the more money I make helping people, the less I care about what anybody thinks. Like, what we're doing is so much bigger than that. And the second that I let myself be coachable, you know, my coach in month 3, when I was kind of going through that hard time, sent me the book, Get Over Your Damn Self. And I remember, like, it was a Success Club gift, which is so nice. So nice of her to send me that. But I definitely opened the mail and like rolled my eyes. I'm like, I told you I'm not doing the self-help thing. And then when I got over myself a little bit and decided that I was going to do this and be coachable, I read that book and it changed everything for me. So if you are struggling with this stuff and you have not read Get Over Your Damn Self, I would start there. I need to reread it regularly, because, you know, as you are in different places in your business, things change and you see things differently. So back to social media. So once I decided to go for it, I share my journey. I am real, raw, totally honest and vulnerable. I talk about the bad mommy moments that I have. I do not make my life look like rainbows and butterflies. I am raising 3 kids under 5, and it is hard. And I lose it a lot. And I think it's really important that I share all of it. And again, I just have to be authentic. Like, I'm a mom who cusses a lot. That's who I am. I don't cuss at my kids, but when they're not around, I certainly do. And that's who I am on Instagram stories, and that's who I am on Facebook, and that's who people know me as. So anyway, how I sign people up on social media, either for the coach opportunity or for the challenge group as a customer, I blow up my Instagram stories. And I'll be totally honest that that is what is working for me right now. I have very little traction on Facebook. And because of that, I don't spend a lot of time on Facebook. And then because of that, I don't have a lot of traction. You know, it's like this cycle. I post everything that I post on Instagram also goes on Facebook. But when I'm really doing power hours and inviting and adding to my network, it just is working better for me on Instagram, and I feel more comfortable with the way that I'm inviting. It feels less cold market kind of. I just feel like, I don't know, it just feels better to me. So I do probably like 10 to 12 Instagram stories a day. Every day my workout's in there. Every day something about my kids, something about my food, and there's usually me talking up some kind of challenge group invitation, or I'm sharing the results of someone in my challenge. I'm talking about my challenge group in some way. Twice a week, I post a coach opportunity post. Those are harder for me to do. So I actually have to write it in my weekly tracker. I do Living Your Best Year Ever. And I write coach opportunity posts. And then I have to write 2 circles, because if I don't like make myself do it, I won't. That's still the scary part for me. And what I do is in my Instagram stories, I look who's watching my Instagram stories every single day. And I message every single one of them. Like, thank you so much for watching my story. I run challenge groups for women trying to put themselves back on the priority list and live their best lives. I'd love to chat more about that with you if you're interested. I know that some coaches would think that that's pretty forward and that you should really build a relationship with them before that. And I agree that that doesn't work for some personalities. I'm just not that much of a small talk person, and I am a forward direct person. So it does work with my personality. I see both sides of that story. I'm just telling you what's working for me. A lot of people don't respond and they just keep watching, and that's fine. The other thing I do, let's say I have 700 people watching a story. I just go like figure out who those people are. You know, I create relationships with them. I don't know if any of you watched the National Wake Up Call this morning with Jen Guthrie. It was awesome. And she said something that was so great, because we sit there and do these power hours and like invite. And what she said that she did was that she just has 10 really meaningful conversations a day. And that's her goal every day, is to have 10 new meaningful conversations. So I go to these people who are watching my story, because that's where you're really getting the most of me. And I see what's going on with their families. I see where they are in their lives. I figure out their kid's name and I create a relationship with them. And a lot of time that's commenting on their story if they're doing Instagram stories, or just going to their Instagram page and they're showing an interest in me. I caught them creeping my Instagram story. Like, they started this thing, you know? So it's because of that, it's just like not creepy for me to go back and create this relationship and create meaningful conversations. And for someone who really cares what people think, it's actually easier when you're expanding your network and you don't really, if these are cold market people. It was harder when it was like that girl who was not that nice in high school. You know, now I'm just dealing with people I don't know. So it's not that scary. If they don't like me, it's okay. Unfollow. It's totally fine. And the other thing that's really working for me right now, and this is not new information, y'all. I just go, again, I'm a twin mom who cusses. So there's all these really funny, like, mommy cusses is one of my favorites. Scary mommy, you know, all of those things that are geared towards like the struggle bus mom, which is my target market. If I can connect with those people, those are my people. We're the people who are not acting like this is rainbows and butterflies. We're acting like this is hard. So I go to those pages and I try to create, or if I'll find twin mom pages and I will create relationships with those people, because who doesn't want to bond with another twin mom? Like I do. That's really genuine. I really want to connect with these people that I have this massive thing in common with. And again, I know that not everybody's a mom, but you do have something that you love and some way to find your people. So that is what's working for me. Focusing on the meaningful conversations, adding to my, also, so you want these people to follow you back on Instagram. So I'm adding these new people, and then I'm trying to create a relationship with them so they can go to my page, see what I'm all about, because it's my storefront, right? They should be able to look at my page and see all the things they need to see to learn that there's a coach opportunity, there's a challenge group opportunity, and just straight up about my life. And the idea is that they're going to follow me back, and then they're kind of like in my journey too. So that's what's working for me on social media right now. Again, I will go back to saying that I get these people in challenge groups. Even if they're like, I want to coach with you, let's do this. I still just get them in a challenge group. Like, I need them to commit to the process and fall in love with the group and the process before I can talk to them about anything else. I truly think that that's the key to my coaches who are doing amazing and really building their businesses. And again, it really just goes back to me being coachable, like going from that non-compliant coach to making a decision. Like, y'all, Beachbody gives us everything we need. They put these massively successful million-dollar earners in, not that it's about money, but these massively successful coaches on the National Wake Up Call. They get these massively successful coaches on the Beachbody Champions page. And these coaches share with us everything they know. Like, what? There's no secrets. Everyone's just sharing, and everybody just wants each other to be successful. So if you decide you want to do this, I'm like, oh, I need some Instagram training. Let me go to the Beachbody Champions page. Oh, Jen Richardson, who's a baller, has an Instagram training on that. Oh, I love Instagram stories. Beachbody Champions. Jantana Jackson has a training on there. You have everything you need at your fingertips. You have an amazing upline coach. You guys are so lucky, and I do too. I'm lucky too. But beyond that, Beachbody gives us everything. You just have to make a decision and decide that you're going to be compliant, because it's not a coincidence. Like, we always call it the spokes of the Beachbody wheel. I keep talking about this wheel, and there's all these spokes. And if you're missing one of the things, the wheel doesn't turn. Like, it's like this puzzle. You have to have all the pieces for it to work. And that's why in month 4, it wasn't working. I wasn't doing personal development. I wasn't inviting. I wasn't consistently posting on social media. Do you know how hard it is to invite people when you're not posting on social media and they have no idea what you're doing? You have to do so much more explaining. So my point is very simple. How did I get to elite? How did I reach my goals in 18 months? I just did what I was supposed to do. And I got out of my own way, and I got over myself, and I stopped trying to do this the way that I wanted to do this, which was like the egotistical, I want to do this my way. I don't want to build a team. I don't want to do personal development. And I just embraced what this amazing company and my amazing upline gave me. And the second that I started doing the things, guess what happened? My team started doing the things. You know, if you hit Success Club 5 and you have a team of people, they're going to hit Success Club 2. If you hit Success Club 50, your team's going to hit Success Club 25. And it is that simple. The more that I do, the more that they're going to do, because I'm going to lead from the front. And, you know, when you are bringing people into this opportunity, you kind of don't have any excuses not to do the things anymore. Like, if you're going to be a leader, you've got to do the things that you're asking them to do. If you're going to bring people into your challenge group, you've got to do the workouts too, right? Like, and all of the other things. It's like the spokes of the wheel. It's like working out and complaining about not getting results because you're not doing your nutrition. Like, it's the same thing with social media. You cannot complain that your business is not going where you want it to go if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing on social media. You just can't. It's like, I actually think that's the first time I've said that. Like, it's exactly like complaining about results and not counting your containers. Like, you just have to do it. Or you just don't want it bad enough. You know, you see these successful coaches, they're not like, Stephanie didn't like get where she is, like laying in her bed eating bonbons. She worked really hard, you know? So that's it.
I was going to say, or I just like laid in my bed eating bonbons while I was working on my phone, right?
There you go.
The beauty of it, we get to do this from anywhere, you guys. Like, that's the coolest part of this, is like, your success can look however you want it to look, you know, and your business hours can be any hours you want them to be. And that's the cool part, is like, I find that a lot of people get into this and they're like, oh, it doesn't work. And like, I just don't know if I can do this. Like, what's the alternative? You know, like going back to, like for Erin, going back to living in her dark hole that she felt like she was in, or like, you know, maybe for you, it's going back to the crappy part-time job that you were just miserable working. Like, what's the alternative? Like, you get to create whatever this looks like for you on your terms, on your schedule, or not, you know? And so I'm just like, I picked the first, you know, like I picked that top one. So I love that, Erin. I just think it's so good to hear like that fresh view on everything. Like, you know, really, it hasn't been that long, and you've just been doing like that month 4 where you felt like it was all coming crashing down around you wasn't that long ago, you know. And I know a lot of people who are watching kind of feel like they're in that, maybe like, I can't get that traction going. But once you get that going, that little like momentum wave, it is crazy where it takes you. And yes, it can take a little bit of time in the beginning to get it going, but once you get that going, you have created something so massive, you can't even see what it's going to look like in 5 years yet. It's crazy. So I took notes. I have like Post-its all over the place. And I was curious, Erin, for like the busy, not even moms necessarily who are watching, but even people who maybe work and they're like, I'm pressed for time, you know, at the end of the day, or like in the mom cracks, or like after I get off school, or after I get off work, you know, what does your like like on those crazy days where like mom life is just, you know, drowning you, what does your like, bare minimum business to-do list look like? Like, before I go to sleep tonight, I've got to get at least this done so that I can just feel like I accomplished something today.
Well, I always start with my challenge group.
Yeah.
Like, I've got to take care of those people first and foremost. And then it is, you know, when Jen Guthrie on the National Wake Up Call was talking, like, that's what I do when we sit down. You know, our kids go to bed at like 8. My husband's putting them to bed right now, I hope. And we sit down on the couch and like, I don't want to watch. I used to like watch The Bachelor, and I used to watch all these shows, and it's just like junk. And so that to me is the piece that I can work. I'm willing to sacrifice that. Yeah. So even if it's just an hour of me figuring out who's watching my stories, following them back, figuring out about their lives and messaging them, you know, I can do that in like 12 minutes. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I started this business. My kids were a lot younger, obviously, than they are now. They were 3 under 3. And is that true? Yeah, that's true. And I started in a 1 hour nap time window. That's all I did. I wasn't committed enough to this to like give up the TV time yet. Mm-hmm. So I started this business in 1 hour of nap time a day. And that's only, you know, if things go well and if I can get 3 kids to bed at the same time, you know? So yeah, I think it's just about being consistent, getting your social media posts up. I've got a lot of coaches who like think that takes a lot of time to post on social media. And maybe it does in the very beginning. And if that's a struggle for you, I would say that like, it's going to get better. The more authentically you post, like I'm never like, I need to think of a post today. I just post as it comes to my head. Because if I do have to do that thing where I plan out a post, it does take a long time. Mm-hmm. So for me, the very authentically in the moment posting makes it less overwhelming, you know? But I think it's just about being consistent. I think that's my answer. Like, check in with your challenge group, do your stories in your social media. It doesn't have to take a long time. And then just figure out who's watching all that and make sure you're connecting with them at a minimum.
Mm-hmm. I like that. Yeah. And I mean, I just wanted to add too, like there will come a day when you feel like your time opens up a little bit and you can watch The Bachelor again. Like I was the same as Erin. And in the very beginning, when I got those kids down to bed and my husband was gone, you know, and it was just me, like when they were down to bed, that was my productivity time. And I recorded shows for later. So like when I was folding laundry or something like that, I would put it on. You know, you just learn how to like kind of compartmentalize and realize like this is a time for productivity. The sitting on the couch time will come maybe like after, like Erin said, like a lot of those to-do list items, do it at the commercial, like challenge yourself, you know, to get it done instead of DVRing it and fast forwarding through commercials, like power through and see how much you can get done in the commercials if you must, you know, still indulge in the reality TV stuff. But like there is a time and a place and you can still create that space, but there's something to be said for sacrifice because your want and your why has to be big enough, you know, and honestly, when you figure out that why and that want and that need, that will outweigh anything that you feel like you're sacrificing. Like it won't feel like a sacrifice. So I hope that makes sense, you guys. I love the Get Over Your Damn Self suggestion. I need that book for myself. I wanted to ask you another question for your new coaches. I know you said, because I'm with you, like my top coaches now, they were challengers. Like they were moms who were like, I got to get my life back. I need to like feel good in my skin, you know, and then they wanted to turn and pay that forward. So I'm with you on that. Do you personally, when you, let's say somebody's like, nope, I want to do what you're doing, I haven't been in a challenge group with you yet, do they get added to your challenge group and your team page?
Yes.
Okay.
And I say, okay, well, you first things first, you need to do your challenge. You need to fall in love with this process and make sure you love it. And, you know, we got to make sure you like this stuff.
Right.
And I do encourage them to invite 3 family members, friends or family, to do it with them, with the expectation that I'm their coach. So ideally, if somebody came into that situation, they would invite 3 family members, have their upfront costs covered, and kind of dip their toe in the coaching water while they're going through their process, while they're going through their transformation, their first program.
Yes. Yeah, I love that.
If Beachbody's sending you $150 in the mail, that's pretty fun. You're like, oh, this happens. Let's keep doing this thing where I get this magical money in the mail for inviting my friends to do something fun with me.
Yeah, I feel like that's when the light bulb turns on too. And then the next month where maybe they didn't bring 3 people because they're not taking it quite seriously yet, but those 3 people are still in Shakeology and you're like, what's this $96 or whatever in my bank account, you know? So, I mean, that's a great suggestion, you guys, anybody watching. I know I get a lot of questions about referrals. Like, how do I suggest that to challengers? That's a great way to say it. Like, yay, you've purchased your challenge pack or you've signed up as a coach. I'm so excited to get you started. I always like to say, bring 3 friends or 3 family members. So just like add that into whatever your welcome email looks like or your, you know, template when you're responding to a new coach or challenger. So those are great suggestions. There were some gems tonight. I loved everything you said, Erin, and I know we're creeping up on that 45-minute mark, and I want to respect your time. And I'm just so grateful that you were here and that you spoke with us, and congratulations on all your success. It's just like, I love hearing all of that. So yeah, thanks for being here. And if you guys have questions after this, I know I didn't post a questions thread, but let me know and I'll hit Erin up, or you guys go follow her, see what she's doing. Like, here's another person where you're like, ooh, I haven't delved into stories yet. Here's another person that you can watch. She's telling you stories are where it's at right now. So that's where you want to be. And that's where you want to be watching. I feel like when I'm talking, it's been on you and you're probably just like, okay. I don't know if it passed the screen off to both of us, but anyway. Okay. Well, I'm going to wrap us up tonight, Erin. I'm just so appreciative that you were here. And
thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, thanks. And have a great night. And thanks you guys for tuning in. Bye, guys.
Bye.